with me for a week little vlog. It's spring break for me right now. I'm back at home from college and I have time to read right now because in college you don't get a lot of time to read, so I thought why not take advantage of this time and see how many books I can read in a week. I'm guessing maybe like 3 at the most I'll be able to read. It'd be nice if I could read like 4 or 5, but I don't know. I'm just gonna see. But so far this week, it's Tuesday. So far this week, I have started to read not Lightlark, that was the first book. I started to read Nightbane, the second book of Lightlark series thing by Alex Astor. I took the jacket thing off of it because I hate, the one thing I don't like about hardcover books is with the jacket. Like it just slides down when I read it. It's kind of annoying, but here it is. It's so pretty. The cover is beautiful, but yeah. Also, I love how she like designed this cover too. Like the inside of the book is beautiful too. See, it's really nice. But I did like the first book, Lightlark, and I've heard good things about the second book, so I'm like, why not pick it up? But yeah, so I started reading this on Sunday and I'm hoping to finish it today. I'm on page 202, and there's like, how many pages is there? There's like 400 pages in this, so I'm gonna try and read 200 pages today. So my thoughts on it so far, I don't know. I just feel like, okay, so to be honest, a few weeks ago I read Once Upon a Broken Heart, that whole series, and now reading this, I'm seeing how it's kind of similar in a way, like the plot, not really the plot, but like with the character dynamic and all that stuff. Like, it's kind of like a love triangle kind of thing. If you've read Once Upon a Broken Heart, you would understand this. Like, there's like this love triangle thing. Like, there's the good guy, like the prince, or no, the king. Yeah, there's a king. And then also in Once Upon a Broken Heart, there's a king that like the main character girl kind of like falls in love with. And like the main character girl in this one and that one, they both like unlock something. And then there's also the bad guy, which in this book is Grimm. Yeah, I don't know, but if you read these books, you would understand how they're kind of similar, which I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart. So I guess that's partially why I kind of like this book, but then also I just feel like this book is kind of like being dragged on in a bit. Like, I just feel like there needs to be like something else, some kind of spark or something. Like maybe Grimm needs to come. I mean, I'm not at the part where he's in here yet. I like how in this book we kind of get, oh, also when I started reading this book, I kind of forgot what happened in Lightlark. But as I kept reading it, it kind of came back to me and I started remembering what happened. Yeah. Anyway, I need to get to reading. It's already 12 o'clock. Yeah. I also heard that they're maybe making Lightlark a movie. I don't know if that's still happening, but I would love to see it as a movie. Like, I think it'd be really good. But yeah, I'm gonna get into reading this, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Okay, so it's like 2 hours later and I'm on page 300. I have like 100 pages left. I'm gonna give my full thoughts when I'm done, but I mean, it's pretty good. It's getting to the better part. I just feel like it's kind of like there is small parts throughout that are like really interesting, and I glide through the pages. But like other parts are just slower, which I don't really like, and all of these pages are leading up to like this big war or whatever, but like the big war is gonna be in like the last maybe like 50 pages of the book. I also like how there's some flashbacks. I'm gonna take a short break. I'm gonna work out and maybe grab a snack, whatever, and then I'll continue finishing this book. Finished reading Nightbane last night. So I'm gonna give my honest review. I think I rated it like a 3.75 out of 5. It was actually really good. The ending, the last like 100 pages, I was like hooked till the end. Like there was even some lines that I tabbed off, which I normally don't like putting like the like dog ears in the books because I don't like ruining the book, but I just had to because there were some lines that I wanted to read to you guys to maybe persuade you to read this book. Oh my gosh, the ending. There's definitely going to be another book because it's not over yet. Although I feel like this book just like dragged on until like the ending, which the ending was just really short. So like throughout it they were like training for this war and just like getting ready for it. But then once it came, it was just like 50 pages long and then it was over, which I guess I didn't really like that. I wish it had more like plot to it. Although I did like how there included some like chapters of like flashbacks of where she gets this is kind of spoiler, so skip through if you don't want to know. But in the last book, okay, this is a spoiler. This girl loses gets her memory taken away, and in this book she slowly gets those memories back, and we like see those memories in like a few of these chapters, which is nice to see, which I liked how she added that to make the book more interesting. I would recommend you reading this if you like fantasy and enemies to lovers, love triangle. Yeah, that's all that's in here. I'm just gonna read like a few lines from a couple of pages that I really liked. It's the romance part of it. It's where Grim is saying this to Isla. Okay. This isn't really a spoiler, it's just to get you hooked if you want to read this book if you haven't yet. These lines are just so good. Okay. So she's like, Grim, I never want to see you again because, spoiler, well, if you've read the Bass book, it's not really a spoiler, but he betrays her pretty much, by like holding in some information from her. And she's like, I never want to see you again, Grim. He's like, you mean that? She's like, I do. He closes his eyes against the word and he says, I've been stabbed 1,000 times, but none of that hurts more than hearing you say goodbye. And then he vanishes. That just shows how much he loved her. And he's the bad guy too. Ugh. Okay. It's like, at the beginning of this book, I totally thought, like, he's the bad guy. He's not supposed to be with Isla. She's supposed to be with Oro. Like, Oro's the good guy. They're supposed to live happily ever after. But coming to the end of this book with the romance in it, seeing all their past history, I don't know. I kind of want Grimm and her to be together. Okay. And then also there is, okay, this is also Grimm talking. He's just the romantic. Okay. He says, my entire world was night and you lit a match. No matter what happens to me in this life, I'll find you in the next one. I'll always find you. What I feel for you can never be extinguished. Like the nighttime sky, it is infinite. You and me, we're infinite. Now I am reading, I actually started reading Nothing More to Tell by Catherine M. McManus. I started reading and I'm like, wait, this seems familiar, and I didn't realize it, but I already read that book. I went onto Goodreads and I'm like, did I read this book already? And it said I already read it, so I'm like, okay. And then I found this other book on my bookshelf, Two Can Keep a Secret, and I don't think I've read this. I started reading like 10 pages last night. I just need like a mystery kind of book, because the other books I have on my TBR to read this week are other fantasies, and I don't want to just read fantasies because I feel like it'll just maybe put me into a book slump. Like I need like I just need different genres and stuff, like a collection of different things. But yeah, I started reading like 10 chapters of this. I feel like I've read this book. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because like I've read a lot of her books. Like she wrote One of Us Is Lying, which I've read, which is really good. So I don't know if maybe just like all of her books are pretty much the same writing style, or I started reading this book, but I don't think I did. But I'm gonna read this book now. I'm gonna read, I don't know how many pages there are in here. I think it is shorter. It's like 300 pages long. So I'm gonna hopefully, yeah, get into reading this today. Yeah. Let's read. I just went on a bike ride with my mom. It's like such a nice day outside. Like it's hot, as you can see from my face. Like it's like the first hot days of like the summer / like springtime, I guess you could say. Like it's one of the first hot days of the season of this year. Which it's so nice. Like the sun is just shining and there was a cool breeze and stuff. It was hot because I'm wearing leggings and a jacket, but it was so nice just to feel alive again, I guess you could say. Like the world is slowly like coming back to life. But then we went to pick up my sister from school. I read a little bit more of this book. I'm on page 76 right now. I'm hoping to finish it today. So my goal for the rest of the day is just to read in my bed right here. I have a little snack right here I'm gonna munch on and read. And yeah, by the way, yes, I have read this before. but I just decided to like just continue reading it, because why not just read it again. I mean, I've gotten this far, I might as well just keep going, right? Hello. I finished reading Two Can Keep a Secret. If One is Dead. I finished reading this last night. And this morning I woke up and I had a book hangover. I was so tired. But yeah, I finished reading this like at 11 o'clock last night. It's actually the first book that I've ever read in just like one day. Like to the most pages I've read in a day. It was like 300 pages. I read that all in a day. It was not a very good idea on my part to read a mystery thriller kind of book right before I go to bed. Because I have a tiny fear of the dark. So that wasn't the best, but it's okay. I watched Gilmore Girls and then I fell asleep peacefully and I had a good rest of sleep, and then I woke up with a book hangover. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna give my review on this. I have read this book before, so I pretty much knew what was going on, although part of me forgot, but as I read through the book my memory came back. But it was good. It really was good. I love Karen and McManus's books. They're just easy to read, which I love. And the mystery in it is really good. Also mixed. There's like a tiny bit of like romance. It's not a lot, but it's still in there, which I like. I think I would rate it like a 4 out of 5, I would say. Okay, so I'm gonna read the back. It says, Ellery's aunt was the first to go missing. Then it was the homecoming queen. Who will be the third? So it's pretty much where Ellery and Ezra, they're twins, they move to this town. Oh, what's the town called again? Echo Ridge. They moved to Echo Ridge to live with their grandma because their mom, who's like she's been in this one film, which she only had one line in. That was her big breakout role. And that's pretty much all she's done. She's like, she has problems with alcohol and stuff. She was sent to like a mental hospital or whatever to get better. And their grandma's the only like living relative or whatever that could take them in. So they both had to move to Echo Ridge, and there's been a lot. There was a death in the past, or there was a girl that went missing, which turns out to be their mother's twin. Like, she went missing many years ago, and then like 10 years later or so, another girl goes missing, and they didn't find out who, like what happened to her. But yeah, all of this stuff happens, and then stuff starts happening again. Like someone like spray paints like a billboard or like a wall or whatever saying like Murderland Part 2, and then things start happening. And yeah, but in the end we find out what happens, and oh my gosh, I left this book like spiraling in a way. Like the last sentence, it's a full spoiler. Like I want to say it, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't know why I say it's so good for every book I read. I think I need to widen my vocabulary a little more, but guys, but just saying, there is a line at like, here, let me see which page it is. It's the last sentence of the book. This was my reaction. I was like, I had to like sit in it for a second and Oh my gosh, that is like terrifying. Anyway, it was a good book. Okay, now moving on. I think I'm going to start reading Pride and Prejudice, which I'm not really going to go into detail on in this video because I'm doing a reading all of Jane Austen's books like reading vlog. So if you want to stay tuned for that, that video is probably going to come out like a bit after this. But yeah, I'm reading her second book that she's published, which is Pride and Prejudice. I watched the movie of this. It was so good. So I think I might just like read a couple chapters of this. I'll probably listen to an audiobook while I read it too, but the cover is so pretty. I got this for Christmas. It's beautiful. But I'm also going to start reading Caraval as well. I read Once Upon a Broken Heart series. It was so good. Stephanie Garber is one of my favorite writers now. It's like a fantasy romance kind of thing. Enemies to lovers. That's what Once Upon a Broken Heart was. But this series came out before Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I probably should have read this series first, because I'm pretty sure it has like background kind of story of one of the characters that's in that book. But I've heard other people saying it's fine, but I'm gonna read the series now. I'm so excited. Busy all day today. This morning me and my mom went to the beach. It was like super windy and cold, which was kind of upsetting because yesterday it was like a beautiful day, but today it was just like terrible. The wind was so strong. It's crazy. But yeah, we went for a walk on the beach, and then we went over by Hilton Head Disney, and we walked along the like pier or whatever by like the marina and stuff over there, which was nice. And then I just got back from picking up my sister from school, and now I'm going to read my book. I've read like a few pages this morning as we were like driving to places, but so I'm on page 50. So far it's really good. I'm excited to read more. So that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. We're picking up pizza from Mellow Mushroom tonight since it's Friday, and we normally get pizza every Friday. I'm excited because Mellow Mushroom is like my favorite pizza place. The pizza from Mellow Mushroom, their crust, I don't know what they do with their crust, but their crust is so good. Also, the pineapple pizza from there, pineapple cheese pizza from there is so good. It's like my favorite. So yeah, anyway, gonna read this book for the rest of the day. So after the last clip that I filmed, I spent like an hour on like TikTok. Well, not TikTok, like the Instagram like shorts, whatever. Like I spent an hour watching those because I just didn't have the energy to read. But I'm reading now. But I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm just tired, and the beach just tires me out. So like I'm like exhausted. But I'm on page 82. Hopefully before my dad comes back from picking up the pizza, I'll get to page 100. Yeah, I'm actually also really hungry too. I'm so excited to eat the pizza. Okay, anyway, just wanted to update you guys. It's really good so far. Hello, it's Saturday. It's the last day I'm here before I go back to college tomorrow. It's kind of sad. But this morning it was like raining outside. Like I woke up and it was just like pouring. It was just such peaceful like weather. I'm like, this is perfect book reading weather. So I woke up and I laid in my bed and read my book a little bit. Yeah. At first I thought waking up late and like getting more sleep and stuff, like sleeping in, would have been good, but it wasn't very good. I'm kind of regretting not waking up earlier, but it's fine. And then just now I was downstairs in my living room, waiting for my laundry to be done, and I read up to page 200 of this book. So I'm like, I would say I'm about halfway. And it's really good actually. It's like really good. It's better than I thought it was gonna be, to be honest. But like, to be honest, I had no idea what it was about. I just remember like the only thing that I heard about this book was that the character from Once Upon a Broken Heart is in it, and it's like a carnival kind of thing, or I don't know. That's all I heard. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll read it. But it's so much better than I thought it was gonna be. Jax hasn't come into it yet, so I don't know if it's later or in the second book or something, but it's really, really good. I love books that are just so good. You get excited to read them and stuff. Anyway, I'm back in my room. I got my laundry. My room is a mess because I'm going back to college tomorrow. But on this gloomy day, it'd be nice if it rained again. I'm going to put on some like ambiance, have that like playing in the background while I continue to read my book. Back here, I read like a few pages from here. Actually, I think right now I'll read the rest up to page 300, since I only have like 10 more pages left. So I think that's what I'll do right now. And then as I was unpacking all my things, I started listening to an audiobook of Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, I'm back. I just got an Instacart and I unpacked all my things. I watched a little Gilmore Girls just to chill. And now I'm kind of sad. I feel lonely. Hello. So it's like a week later since I got back to school. So it's like a week after spring break. And today I just finished reading Caraval. And I think I'm going to start editing this video tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this. But I wanted to update you guys. I didn't want to leave you guys like not saying my thoughts on this book. So I like read like a chapter or so like every day throughout this week since I've been like busy and stuff. But let me give you my honest review. So excited to read the next 2 books of the series, and I might be wrong, but I think there's a 4th book coming out. This is exciting. But this book was really good. I gave it a 4.75. My favorite parts were, I loved just how visually appealing this book was. Like, it has like obviously a map. Like, any books with maps are like the best, although I don't look through it as I'm reading. But like once I finished the book, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, I know where those places are. Like, I've heard of those places. And then these like pretty, like, I wouldn't say these are chapters, but like sectioned off like days in the book, I think. But they're so pretty. Look at that. And then they have like letters and stuff like that throughout the book. And also at the end, she added like false starts of like drafts of the beginning of this book, which is cool to see how it became. And like she was starting with like a whole different story, and it's cool to see how it like became. And I think this book turned out really great. And with like the story that she chose, like the storyline and stuff is really great, and I really enjoyed it. Also, she added like a playlist of like each day, like music of each day that like happens in the book, which is really cool. I didn't really notice most of the songs. So it's pretty much about where these 2 sisters travel to this other island to like compete in this game. It happens over the course of 5 days, and if they win the game, then they like get a wish or something. But like a lot of things happen. It's definitely not the type of game that you would think. Like mixed with magic and stuff, it's like taking a game to the next level. So let me read the back. So it's admin 1, this like little thing. To be used once to gain entrance into Caraval, and it says main gates close at midnight. Anyone who arrives later than this will not be able to participate or win the seer's prize of 1 wish. And like the game happens at nighttime, so you like sleep during the day and like play the game during night. And like some people like go mad during the game because like nothing is real. When you're playing the game, you have to have the mindset of like everything that you see isn't real. So like your mind might play tricks on you. The ending, if you saw my reaction, I was like, oh my gosh. There was a lot of moments like that, which I love that. I love when books like surprise me. Like, I don't know, just makes it even more interesting. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.